What's going on, guys? T2RX6 here, back for another Transformers review, and today I wanted to do something a little different. In view of all the really cheap Transformers that we can get now that just have really hollow plastic, I wanted to go back and look at one of the classics toys that kind of got neglected a little. Now I'm going to preface this in saying that he really needs the repro label set if you're going to buy him, and he's totally worth it. But putting on the repro label set really transforms this figure into just a fantastic looking piece. This is Octane. Well, his G1 name is Octane. He was released as Tankor, but we're going to just call him Octane because that's who he was from G1 and that's who he's supposed to be. Now the repro labels here do a lot for this toy just by adding a bunch of details to all the modes. Mostly, you know, you pick out these windshields here, and that it really pops compared to what he originally had. And this whole back tanker part gets this really nice chrome sticker. Without it, just for looks, it's kind of this dull, not very exciting plastic, so the sticker really helps. And it also just kind of goes and brings him in line with his G1 counterpart. There we go. Just had to peg that back on. So while we're talking about his G1 counterpart, let's bring it out. Now you can see the obvious difference in the types of trucks. This is kind of your more traditional truck, which looks awful with the arms hanging out underneath. Whereas this is kind of more something maybe you would see at an airport, perhaps. Something like that. So, you know, I think it's okay. I have no problems with that. Now, this guy doesn't really roll all that well because the way he has his airplane propellers stored under here, they tend to just kind of sit just above the wheels, so he doesn't really sit too well. I've gotten it sometimes just out of sheer, I guess, you know, positioning of these propellers, he's rolled, but generally I find he doesn't roll very well. But what can you do? So, we're going to take this guy to his airplane mode now, and we're going to start that by taking the top off here, and then we'll take these guns off too. We split the legs on open like this, and this may take a little bit of fiddling for me to get because it's been a while since I've done this. So once this is split, you're going to flip these on around like that and rotate the whole waist assembly down like so. And then you should be able to just kind of peg all this back together. Rotate the blue parts of the, I guess it's easier to rotate them first. Rotate the blue parts of the truck up and then peg it together. And then flip out the tail fins there. Now you're going to take the front part here and rotate it up to the front, like so. It's just on a blue swivel, and that's going to make the jet cockpit. And we'll do it again from a side view here for the other side. Up like that. And that forms the jet cockpit, like I said. We'll fold these little tabbed pieces on in just to make space. And then what you're going to do is take the shield piece here, and it's going to peg in right here just to kind of make like a landing gear sort of for the jet mode. And then all you have to do is take the wings on down. Now, one of the gripes I guess people have with this toy is that he does have a relatively small cargo jet mode, but I mean, you have to kind of give and take because he is a triple changer and there's no way you can make the two things completely in scale. He's inherently flawed in this manner, that he turns from a tanker jet, or a tanker, into a carrier type transport plane. I believe kind of like the Hercules airplane, if I recall correct for names. So yeah, there's a problem there. It's kind of like broadside turning from a aircraft carrier to a fighter jet, but just with a tanker instead. So yeah, I think that kind of got him overlooked quite a bit. So for comparison purposes, I've got his G1 version here in jet mode, and as you can see, you don't have the extra pieces just laying around to lose on this guy. They all can peg somewhere, as much as they may not look like anything. And you've obviously switched from an actual like passenger airliner looking plane to, like I said, the Hercules here. And again, for a size comparison, we'll bring back the old standby. Here is the classic Starscream. So you get an idea of the way the airplanes scale together, which is that they don't. But, you know, like I said, still compared to what you see today on the shelf, he's actually a pretty decent toy, especially with the repro labels. So to take him to his robot mode, we're going to take off all his accessories yet again. And if you didn't notice, the wings here are on a geared system, so they move together. So, anyway, moving on, bringing him to his airplane mode, we'll fold up the tail fins here again, and we'll separate his legs, rotate these on in, both of them. We'll extend out the back of the plane for his legs here, flip up these little feet pieces here, like so. And then rotate the legs so they're facing the other direction, like that. Now, we'll take the back wings of the airplane, just kind of fold them on open, just for now. We'll split the top of the airplane, and keeping these blue pieces in the side here, not letting them come down like you can see is happening on the other side, rotate his arms so it's like that. Then it's a matter of kind of twisting it and rotating his hands, lower portion of his arms on down, like so. So it looks something like this, and I've seen some mistransformations of this guy online, unless I've been doing it wrong this whole time, but we'll get there in a minute. And then rotate the tip of the nose on around, like so, just to give him his hands. And kind of, what I've always seen is his shoulders should be kind of angled upwards like this. I've seen some people who had them all the way up, and it looked really strange. They were like this on the side, and that's not right at all. So you can have them straight out if you want. I like to have them angled up like this. Then take these, fold them forward like that, and by pushing them up, that's going to reveal his head, but you can see it doesn't hold on its own. So once you get it up, you kind of close this, and that actually locks all the arms and everything in place. And then your final thing to do is to just kind of bring your wings to where you want and rotate them around and up like so. And let's bring this on up here. I personally like having mine angled back like that. And there you go. You've got him in his robot mode. Now you can give him his two guns here. Just like you would expect. They're just 5mm peg holes. So they peg in like so. Or you can give him this double blaster by pegging one gun right into the other. Like that. And then you take this shield assembly. It actually opens by, you push it down a little at the top and open it because there's a little tab there. Now the repro labels do cover the hole, so there is going to be a slightly noticeable indentation here when you have it plugged in, but what can you do? And it makes this kind of like a claw weapon thing, like this, which he can then hold. Now mine does have kind of a weak elbow, and at certain joints he will start dropping it, but it's something. I think a lot of people are underwhelmed by this particular weapon. I know I find it hard to figure out exactly what it is or what its point is, but he still stands on my shelf with it nonetheless. So for a size comparison here, we'll bring in the G1 Octane here. And you can see him in all his G1 glory, actually making use of all his parts. Differently than, of course, he made use of this part here, but what can you do? You at least don't have this tail fin to get lost, so that's always good. So yeah, I think that this guy definitely warrants a second look in light of the Prime RID toys that just seem to be lacking in quality anymore and size. He generally doesn't go for a whole ton on eBay compared to a lot of the classics because he's Octane, and Octane wasn't really received well back in the day either, as he replaced Blitzwing for apparently no seeming reason, and his only real notable thing in the G1 continuity was being absolutely terrified when he met the ghost of Starscream. But regardless, I think you guys should give him a look if you have a chance. You may be surprised that he's not all that bad of a Generations figure. Well, a Classics figure. So this is T2RX6. I hope you guys enjoyed the review, and I'll see you next week.